Hello everyone and welcome to this information and discussion video for Star Citizen. And with CitizenCon right around the corner, there was going to be a lot of juicy information, hopefully a lot we can really dig our teeth into and discuss and talk about. But as we're in that sort of information drought just before it, this last few days to go, I just wanted to talk about something that I think is going to be quite interesting, something that we know which direction CIG is throwing the ball, but we don't know really any information about where the ball is going to land, and that is Upkeep. I've not seen anyone really talk about Upkeep. I've seen people talk about logistics, and I think logistics overlaps a lot with Upkeep, and I see there being two types of upkeep. I see there being financial upkeep, which doesn't really, well, it does overlap with logistics, because you could argue that logistics pays into the financial upkeep, and then you've got the maintenance, which is again is going to heavily overlap with financial upkeep and logistics as well. So maintenance, financial upkeep, logistics, all three of them big circles, all overlap, with the middle just being. Could argue the middle is what's the upkeep. But anyway, we're getting derailed. We're going off topic here. But yes, I wanted to talk about upkeep because we don't really see people talking about upkeep. And I have a few thoughts on it as well. And it's actually quite worrisome. Not worrisome's probably the wrong word, but yeah. For people that have a lot of ships, I feel like there's going to be a small struggle right out the gate. Just for that initial sort of financial, getting a stable footing in the game. And that is, I don't know how bad it's going to be. It might be negligible. It might be completely a mute point, pointless. It might be just a couple of pennies that they don't really care about. Or it could be quite a real struggle just to get that initial financial footing, because you have to pay upkeep on an absolute ton of ships. And we don't know where that ball's going to land. We just know, as I said earlier, the direction CIG are throwing the ball. We don't know whereabouts it's going to land, how damning it's going to be, how whatever it's going to be. We just know the direction they're going. And that is the direction as in, hangars are going to cost money in upkeep. Maintenance is going to cost money in upkeep. So that's a lot of expenses that you're going to have for a lot of ships. And when we are initially starting the game up for the first times on official release, we are not going to have a big bankroll to sort of fund everything. We're going to need to make our initial money. A way I was thinking about it and talking about it to myself earlier is if you've ever played World of Warcraft or another MMO where there's travel, and one of the best ways to travel in a game like that was the flights, the flash travel flights. You could go to your city or the villages, and there'd be a flight master. You'd pay him a small amount of money and he'd fly you to the area you wanted to fly to, as long as you had unlocked that area on the flight road. And I see it as looking really similar to that. When you first start playing the game, those expenses are not negligible. Those were quite big. If you were using them a lot, that would to get you back and forth between your quest city and your capital city for whatever reason, and it cost quite a cheap wee bit. It cost quite a wee bit if you were using them often, and that could have been the big difference between you affording an upgrade to your gear or not affording the upgrade to your gear. But once you've been playing the game a lot and you've been doing raids and you've been doing all sorts, the costs of the flight, you don't even think about it. It's coppers, it's pittance, who cares? Just fly there. I've got enough money like that. I don't even need to think about a couple of gold here and a couple of gold there. And I see this as being really, really similar in what we're going to experience, I would assume. Remember, this is assumptions, because again, we don't know where the ball is going to land in Star Citizen. So people that just have their starter ship, brilliant, grand. They just get in, they've got the right tuned maintenance costs for starting out the game and having nothing. A little tiny hangar on ArcCorp costs them next to nothing. Easy peasy, job done. Yeah, simple. You probably don't even need to do that. You probably won't even start with a hangar. You'll just start with your ship, take off, go do some missions, and then when you want to land and log out, you'll probably get your first hangar. I don't know. We just know the ball is going to land somewhere in that vicinity. So yeah, upkeep. There we go. You need a hangar. But that's what the game's going to be fine-tuned for when you're first logging in and you've only got your starter ship. What about people like me that are going to have 4 or 5 ships? We're going to need to buy like 5 bigger hangars right off the get-go, or 1 really big hangar. That's going to be a lot more expensive. Right out the gate. So you're forgetting as well, this is right out the gate. We can't have our own base built on some moon somewhere that we're planning to have like storage for it all, with a couple of NPCs that are going to be going around doing maintenance on all our ships and stuff. We cannot have something like that set up from the get-go. Like, that is how expensive is it going to be in the maintenance department? And as I said, I think this is not going to be too crippling. I think it's just going to make it more complicated in the initial like get-go for us. And I just think it's going to be quite interesting to see which directions they go in. Those are the other things I wanted to talk about. There was something else I really wanted to talk about. Yeah, you got the maintenance. This all comes back to finances. You're going to need to have to pay for fuel, which is type of maintenance. That's more logistics. You're going to have to pay for this, that, but now you're going to have to pay for several ships, which is this bit that has got me a wee bit scared and worried when we're logging into the game for the first time and we've only got our starting funds. I think someone like me that only has the 4 or 5 ships, I think it's not going to be too big a problem. I think if we take, say, a medium-sized ship out and we go do a mission and like come back with the profits of that mission, I think then we'll be laughing and we'll have enough to like store everything, keep it all safe and done and dibby dabby dozy. But I think that's still going to be half of, say, the profits from that first mission. Whereas if I only had that 1 ship, it'd only be a tiny bit of that first mission's money, and I'd be starting to make good bank right from that first mission. Whereas the first mission's going to be more financial, like more financially needed just to get myself stable, to keep all my stuff, if you get what I'm trying to say. And I think after that, the ball is when the ball will really get rolling. The one thing that has me really concerned is the people that have an awful lot of ships. I know there is some whales out there that have got a lot of ships. Like, some people out there have like got to catch them all syndrome, as I've heard Algareth call it from the Info Runners, where they've got to have one of everything. And those people I'm a wee bit concerned about, because even if they jump right in, unless they've got an armada of friends that are going to be flying their ships with them so they can take tons of ships out from the get-go, then this is a moot point. They're going to be making bankroll right from the get-go, huge amounts of Wonga, and it'll be great. Like, they can have like 3 people off mining, another 2 people off transporting some stuff, and then that's going to be covering the financial upkeep of all these ships. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But if it's them on their own, and now they're going to need to find like hangar space for like 100 ships with their starting funds. Some of these ships are massive and can't even get down to planets. So that's a berthage on a space station that's needing. Yeah, someone that's got something like a javelin. That's going to need a safe harbor. That is a big ship that never despawns. That's going to need protection as well. Yeah, for those people it could be quite worrisome. The one solution I thought of is maybe every single ship we purchase with real money is never physicalized, it never draws upkeep, it never needs a hangar space or whatever until the first time we call it from a terminal. Then the second we call it from the terminal, that's when it starts needing these things, and that's when the ball starts rolling. Insurance! Insurance is another form of financial upkeep. I've been talking about hangars a lot, but insurance is another one that we're going to need. So, So now you're going to need, back to the situation with me, I need to fund hangar space for the 5 ships, and I need to fund the insurance for the 5 ships. I have LTI, but I doubt LTI will be anywhere near as good as actual paid upkeep in-game insurance. LTI will probably just be really basic and get that done, so you're probably going to want the ships you're using. Any ship you upgrade and that sort of stuff, you're almost definitely probably going to want to get the proper in-game upkeep insurance. It's going to cost you money. Again, we know this is direction CIG are throwing the ball, we just have no idea where it's going to land. And it's going to be really interesting to see some more of this stuff come online. And I really wonder where I'm really interested to see where it's going to land. What is CIG going to do to really help these people that have like 100 ships? Are they going to have huge expenses right from the get-go when they've not built up these finances to back it? Going back to my WoW equivalent here with the flight, see, having 100 ships is like having to do 100 of those flight jumps before they even start making money. Whereas having 5 ships, I see me as having to do 5 of those flight travel times before I start making money. That's a good way to think of it, actually. Having to do so many of them before you start earning profit. And I just really wonder where the ball's going to land. I think it's really interesting. I can't wait to see where they go with it. And I just thought that would be a great reason to bring it to you, to talk, to see what you think. See if you think it's going to be as harsh as I do. If you think it's going to be nowhere near as difficult. But I expect early game is going to be a struggle. And I think once you get things established, it's going to be negligible. That's where I think it's going to land. And I'm really interested it'll be really interesting to see where this goes. And I think if you've got 4 or 5 mates, it's going to be so much easier. Because, yeah, everything in this game is going to be so much easier if you've got a posse of mates you can roam around in. And especially if you can get a group together and you can get a base established. So you are providing each other mutual protection, you are providing each other mutual finances, like because just shared expenses, shared upkeep. It's going to be so much simpler as a small group, and I think everything points in that direction. Like they're not wanting to punish people for playing solo. There's going to be no punishments for playing solo, but playing as a group is going to be an exponential force. I do see that as being a big thing. Yes, upkeep. We have no real information on it at the moment other than there's going to be insurance. Hangars are going to cost stuff. My videos have stopped playing in the background, so I think that's time for me to shut up. I shall see yous all in the next video, which will hopefully be talking about something at CitizenCon. Oh yes, CitizenCon just around the corner, just a few days. Hope you've all enjoyed this. I shall see yous all next time. Bye-bye.